Yep, that's right. I'm reviewing Halo Legends, which is a compilation of 7 different stories about the Halo universe. Now, they aren't all about Master Chief. He's in it a bit, but these are pretty much just expanding the Halo universe. Now, if you've been living under a rock for the past 10 years now, yeah, it's been 10 years since Halo 1 came out, then I'll tell you what it is. Halo is a massive first-person shooter game, which is exclusive to the Xbox and Xbox 360. It's about so much stuff. There's a lot of story to cover, and if you're not a fan or never played the Halo game, then it's going to be kind of hard for me to explain the entire thing, because there's literally like 5 games and a whole load of other material such as books and visual novels or graphics novels or whatever. There's a lot of story that comes to Halo. So is Halo Legends just a cash in for the fans to buy, or is it a decent, great story to actually watch? For me, it is a great piece of animation as well as a great story. Now, after watching this again, I think that Halo fans will love it, but if you're a person who never really got into it, I think this is also accessible, because they do explain some stuff about the Halo universe. It doesn't really alienate itself to Halo fans. I think Halo fans will appreciate it and be able to get into it because they know the whole story of Halo. But I think newcomers to the series who will watch it will be able to understand the story and get into it without knowing the whole massive backlog of Halo 1 through 3 and Reach and ODST. Now, in total, there are 8 stories, or to be fair, it's 7, because 2 of them follow from one another. There's Origins 2, which is following up from Origins 1. There's another story called The Duel, and there's Homecoming, The Odd One Out, Prototype, The Babysitter, and The Package. These are all 7 different stories, and I'll quickly go through each and every one of them just to get my opinion out there. Origins 1 and 2 basically tell the story of, well, the universe. The first Origins tells us about the Forerunners, about the beginning of the universe, and how the Flood took over, and how the Forerunners came up with the idea of Halo to just eradicate the Flood. Origins 2 is about what happened afterwards, when evolution took place and the humans, how they always are engulfed in war, and how they went out into space and they were still fighting one another. Then they had the common enemy of the Covenant, and then they started fighting them, and then they all band together to fight the Flood because it's a bad day when the Flood comes, so everyone fights the Flood. So it's pretty much just giving you a lot of exposition. It's told through the narrative of Cortana, as Master Chief is asleep or cryosleep, and she's telling you the whole history of Halo, from the Forerunners up to now. The Duel tells the story of the Arbiter, not the Arbiter from Halo 2, but the origins of the Arbiter. How you become this person. Now, it takes place on the world of the elites. It tells the story of the Arbiter, which at that point was a very high prestige thing. If you're an Arbiter, that means you're like a general, you were an honourable person. And this sort of shows how, from this honourable status, is now seen as a disgrace, because the Arbiter in this did not want to become part of the Covenant. He felt that they didn't need to be a part of it, and everyone else was pretty much sold out of the Covenant, and now he had to battle, and of course he dies, and it shows that now this status has become a disgrace, that if any elite gets the status of Arbiter, they might as well just be dead. Now, I'll quickly say about the animation quality of both Origins and The Duel. Origins looks good, it's fine. The Duel I have a bit of a problem with, because it looks like a moving painting, and the colours are just like, they're so blurry and smudgy, it looks like a painting, like a water painting or whatever, and it really is not good to the eyes, because sometimes the backgrounds on the characters blend together because they're using the same colours. It's kind of hard to mix stuff out, and it does not look good. I mean, it's artistic, yeah, it's very artistic if you want to use that word, but it's it does take away a bit, but apart from that, the story of it is pretty good. The next story is called Homecoming. Now, Homecoming is about this girl named, I think it's Rose, and she is a part of the whole Spartan program. It tells the story of how she was taken and became a Spartan, and it's told in flashbacks. You see her on her original home planet fighting the Covenant, and it's pretty much now like a war-torn city, and it shows that how she escaped trying to go back home, and then finds that there's a clone of her, and then she goes back to become a Spartan, and it really is a lot of honourable fighting. It's just her, fighting it out on the battlefield. I can't really say much about the story. It's a good story. It shows how she accepted her life now, and she became a Spartan, and she's fighting there. And I think one of the main themes of Halo is honourable deaths, because she fights, and she fights to the end, and obviously not the end is. These stories are very much bittersweet. There are a lot of Halo Legends. They don't talk about Master Chief. They're obviously about different characters. You'll find that throughout the entire of Halo Legends, that it's all about these different characters. Master Chief is not the main focus here. It's these other characters, other Spartans, other soldiers, other ODST members. They're the real focus on it, and you'll see what happens to them, what their fates become. And the next one is called The Odd One Out, and boy, it is definitely the odd one out. Now, I do believe that the odd one out was actually directed by people at Toei Animation, the guys at Dragon Ball Z, and it shows, because the odd one out is really just a goofy episode of Dragon Ball Z. I mean, there's a lot of fighting, like over the top comedy in this. This one really is the odd one out, because this one is just so comedic. And after watching Origin 1 and 2, The Duel and Homecoming, which are very bittersweet stories, they're very much dramatic stories of these characters and the origins of the universe or whatever. The odd one out just feels so out of place in this. It shouldn't have been here. The odd one out is one of the ones that I dislike, because of the fact that, well, Halo has always been this sort of serious story, and the odd one out does feel like the odd one out. It just feels like this tacky, generic anime action thing which is just thrown into Halo Legends. Don't get me wrong, it's funny, but I really wish that they could have left it out and came up with a better story. Maybe another story about another Spartan warrior, whatever. This one just feels really out of place, and it's not one you want to come back to watch. I'd avoid that one completely, because the rest of them are just much better stories. The next story arc is called The Prototype, and it's about a sergeant named Ghost who is trying to redeem himself as a person. He's sort of made out to be this sort of heartless person who doesn't really have any emotion inside him. He's just a ghost, as they are. They're on this planet, and it's pretty much the last stand. Him and his platoon are fighting it out, and how he gets into the prototype weapon, which is like this big mech thing, and he has to fight it out. And it's pretty much him redeeming himself. It shows that he is putting himself in the front lines, taking all the fire, whilst his men get taken away. It shows that he's trying to redeem himself as a human being, saying that, you know what, after what happened last time, I'm not ever let that happen again. I'm going to get my men out of there. And he pretty much, like, once again, noble death competition, he pretty much goes out there and just takes it. He's in his mech, shooting it all out, and it's a very well done piece, and it's probably one of my favourite parts of Halo Legends is this particular story here, because he pretty much has no caring of himself. He pretty much shows that he can once again be human again. And that's the whole thing about it, is that he's redeeming himself as a person, putting his neck on the line for his men and just trying to redeem himself. The next one's called The Babysitter, and this is about the ODST members who have a Spartan with them. They don't really like Spartans anyway. There's this big apparent feud between the two of them. I'm not really sure. It's never really explained in the game, but they go to a planet, and one of the ODSTs doesn't like the Spartan, and there's something up to the Spartan, and hey ho, they appreciate the Spartan, and then they do the mission or whatever. It's a pretty good story. It's okay. It's good. And the last one is the CG movie called The Package, and this is the one that I think is the big build-up. This is one about Master Chief, where Master Chief and a few of the Spartans go out to one of the ships to attack the Covenant to retrieve this person who they kidnapped. The CG is pretty good. It looks alright. The humans look horrible. I'm not joking. The Covenant look good. The armor looks good. The human models are absolutely terrible. I mean, there's like such a horrible looking models. There's a funny part in it where you can see it through a first person view, and it's pretty much the HUD of the game. That's pretty funny. You get all like the slow-mo stuff, like weird aerobatics that they do, which you never really see in the game, but it's pretty cool. Looks good. Decent story. But this one is very much the more action-packed story of the entire one. This is all about action, where the other ones had a good balance of action and drama. Okay, so I've pretty much gone through the whole storylines of all 7 stories. Now, let me just say something right now. I know this isn't the best review, and I find it very hard to do stuff like this because it pretty much is so spread out where it's got different types of stories all brought into one. So it's really hard for me to do reviews like this. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that Halo Legends does what it does best. It tells a great story, just as the games do. Whether or not you find the game stupid or not, you can't disrespect this anime for actually doing what it does, telling you a great story and actually engrossing you into the Halo universe. The characters are very well developed, even in their small 20-minute sections that they have. You know, you care for some of these characters, and the way they go out is just gets you right here in the heart sort of stuff. It makes great use of the music as well. The memorable music that you get from the original Halo games is here. You know that's all there. But then you get like the slower and the piano sad ones that, you know, obviously to enhance the whole saddened parts of the story. These stories are not happy. They're not like, yeah, the humans rule. A lot of this does show the humans pretty much screwed. I mean, there's only a few of these stories which actually show the humans as actually winning battles. I mean, I think out of the 7, 2 or 3 of them show the humans actually winning their wars or whatever, and the rest of them is pretty much them screwed up, and now they've got to get out of there as fast as they can. In the original trilogy, you never really felt that the humans were ever in danger. I mean, yeah, on the first Halo, that was only a small part of them, but then like Master Chief blew it all up and whatever. Number 2, you felt when they invaded Earth, you know, and 3, you know, Master Chief and the elites or whatever, they took it all back. Halo Legends, as well as ODST and Reach, really showed how hard the war was for the humans, and you know, you get really engrossing. I'm like, oh, we could have done more. We could have saved each other. But anyway, as a Halo fan, I really did enjoy Halo Legends. And I think there's great stories, great content besides the odd one out one. If you're a fan of the Halo series, this is a definite buy for you. I say pick it up straight away because you're going to love it. If you are really into the whole mythos of Halo, pick it up. You're going to find some great stories here about different characters, not just about Master Chief. If you're new to the series, I still say pick it up because it explains everything very well. It tells you about the whole war, the backstory of Halo, and who the Spartans are. It tells you in quite a bit detail who the hell these are. It's not like all exposition and just too much of it. It does explain and tells you a great story along the way. You don't have to be a fan to appreciate Halo Legends, but it does help if you are a fan. Now, out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8. I think Odd One Out really does take it down a bit because I think that was just totally not needed for the Halo Legends DVD. I think could have done a better story with that. But, you know, it's a good piece of film, a good piece of animation. I think that you should go out and buy it and, you know, have a watch of it. But yeah, that's my review. Sorry, it's really hard to do reviews of this because, well, reviewing anime or whatever which has multiple storylines, it's kind of hard to review. You really got to talk about every piece of the story and try to bring it all together. But yep, Halo Legends is a great piece of animation. It's fun to watch, and pick it up, see what you think, and see you next time.